Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Ronco Pop, and we are at the start of 2023. You know, at the start of the new year, everyone always makes some New Year's resolutions, new goals, new aspirations for you to chase, and I'm not that different. I have some of those things too, but what I'm mainly focusing on in this video is when you set those goals, don't quit. Don't quit. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. Some days you're going to want to quit. You're going to feel, especially as artists, we feel like we don't we don't make the progress we want to make, but don't quit. So through this video, I thought I'd just show some past artwork and actually the tipping point of where I actually did quit. I've quit comics a number of times, and I always come back to comics because comics are awesome. I love comic books. I love the medium. I love drawing. I love creating the stories. It's great. What we have here is one of my first real attempts at making comics, Cutlery. It was a parody superhero. It was about this chef who defeated villains, and this was my whole little parody homage take after John Byrne's X-Men cover. I can't remember the number of that, but this was my first I made it into a mini comic. I think I made 2 little mini comics. This was way back in 2011, so over 10 years ago. I was trying it. As you can see, you might see some remnants of my style still today. I have a very cartoony style, very loose, very animated style, because that's what I really wanted to grow up as, to be an animator, until I realized it's just drawing certain things over and over again. And I found out that more than being an animator and an artist, I wanted to be a storyteller. But yeah, so it started in 2011 here this was my first real big attempt at making comics. I went on a little bit of a road trip in 2011. I went to San Francisco, and here's my little attempt. I don't do this very often, actually. I hardly ever do it. But this was my little attempt of life drawing, or what is that? Plein air painting. It wasn't painting. This was from a sketchbook from 2011. This is the Columbus Tower. Yeah, so it came out alright. If I remember correctly, I think I was sitting off across the street at like maybe, I think I might have just been sitting on a bench or something, and I saw this. I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to draw that. So yeah, I was just try to take in that inspiration beginning of 2023, and now just draw from life. That's what all the major the great artists say, throughout time. Basically, draw from life. As much as I love the cartoon stuff and I love animated style, and the artists like Scott McDaniel and Scotty Young, and who else is it? Mike Waringo. All those guys have that very animated, silly, fun, loose style. But you have to have that structure behind it. So drawing from life is a very good tool. I probably should do that more often. Let's jump ahead a couple years here. 2013, some more sketchbook stuff. Still drawing away. I think in 2013 I was working on that second mini comic of the Cutlery. I don't think I have a picture in here, but yeah, it's just a little Darth Maul action right here. 2014, I believe this was. There's my little sketch of Batman from, I think this was when The Dark Knight came out. Yeah, I think it's from The Dark Knight. Well, obviously it is, but I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. No, that movie I can't remember when that movie came out. Anyways, moving on. All right, so this is 2015 right here. This was my local comic book shop at the time, and as you can see, Urban Myth Investigators. We will get into that in just a second. Urban Myth Investigators was my my next attempt at really trying to get into comics full time, being a studious creator, serious creator. And yeah, I went to my local comic book shop, talked to the owner, Sid. He's a cool guy. Desert Oasis Comics down in Southern California, Palm Springs, Coachella Valley. If you're in the area, check that place out. That dude's nice. And yeah, he bought a few issues off of me, off of not commission. What is that? Consignment. I think that's how we did it. I can't remember. I asked him if he would stock it, and he said, yeah, I'd give you a little percentage, or you could just sell them to me. at a discount or something like that. I can't remember now, but yeah, that was very cool to see it like up there, and I took a picture of it, and he asked if I wanted to sign him, and I said sure. So that was in 2015 right there. Still struggling, still trying to do what I could do, working full time at a regular day job, trying to figure this out. And since we are on Urban Myth Investigators, let me show you this artwork from this first issue, and you can see why you should not give up, because you can only get better. No matter how bad you think you might be at drawing, you can always get better. All right, here are a couple sample pages of Urban Myth Investigators. Yes, you can still download it off of Amazon under my my other name that I write under, Ron Tucker. It's there. It is not great artwork, but the story, I still like the story, and maybe one day I will return to Urban Myth Investigators, the story of a chupacabra, a gnome, and a Bigfoot investigating other urban myths. But as you can see here, look, this is one page. Here's another one here. Very rough, man. Looking back on this stuff, like, I can see what I was trying to do, and I just did not have the chops to do it. Who knows if I'd even have the chops today to do it, but you can see it's just, I wasn't taking the time. I don't think, looking back on it now, looking at these pages, I don't think I was taking the time to really hone my skills as much as I should have. I do like the design concepts though. Chupacabra, Chewy right there. He's just this little scaredy cat freak, cryptid, and we got. I like the design of the Bigfoot, but yeah, you could definitely see. This is another one. They drove around in this modified Volkswagen van when they went out on their little missions. But yeah, so as you can see, compared to what I got going on today, I'm light years better today. Does that mean I'm an absolute awesome artist? No, I would not call myself that. But yeah, I can definitely see the improvements. And yeah, so that's what it's all about, right? So when you set those goals this year, set those goals to improve even incrementally. Why don't you save what you're drawing now, look back on it at the end of the year, and hopefully you will see improvement too. All right, getting back to some of these pictures here. So in 2015, we were still in this same year after I got some of my issues into my local comic shop. I went out to I believe this was Long Beach Comic Con. I had my whole little setup there. You can see I have some wrestling pictures there. I did sell a couple of those to some wrestling fans. I got my Bigfoot crossing in my homemade Bigfoot crossing sign that I think I did that on poster board. Trying to get some advertisement there, some type of sign to promote my Urban Myth Investigators. I was on Comixology at the time. Took that off because that was not a great site for that was not a creator-friendly site. They did not have a good setup. I mean, it was popular because it was the only thing at the time, but it wasn't that great. But yeah, 2015, I was all about it. I was trying to make the rounds. Had my artwork. I had my comic books. Trying to get out to the local comic shows that I could. I was in Southern California, so getting out to Long Beach was not that long of a drive. The next year, still playing around. This is actually looking a little bit more like what I'm doing today. I'm playing around with this little cartoony, chibi type of style, and I really like this. And for what it is, I kind of like what I was going for here. This is just a random sketch I found in one of my old Facebook photos. I don't know. I think I have these sketchbooks packed away somewhere. But yeah, I kind of like this. So you can see I was developing. I was kind of getting better, even though it's not the best. I was getting better at what I was trying to do and the kind of style I was going for. Then we jump ahead to 2019, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because in 2019 I thought I was like, boom, I had multiple issues of Urban Myth Investigators out. You can see off to the side there. I have to figure out where. I have it somewhere. It's buried under some digital hard drive. I have 3 issues of Urban Myth Investigators drawn, and then a whole graphic novel, which would have been like 2 more issues, but I just combined them into one graphic novel as the final parts of the story. And I was jazzed about this. Is Anaheim WonderCon back in 2019. I was super stoked to be here. I had my banners up. I had a new banner for my name, Urban Myth Investigator banner. It had some artwork off on the side in those little cages. And boy, oh boy, this did not go good. I think I sold a couple issues of Urban Myth Investigators, which is cool. I sold a few of those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle prints right there. But yeah, I was very, very bummed out. And this was right around the time that I was doing my writing. This is when I was starting to write some prose works, and I was starting to gain ground. And I actually made a little bit of money in 2018 and 19, where I was like, well, I'm making money writing. I'm just going to write. Forget comics, man. This is so hard. Comics take so long. I'm coming to these shows. I have like a couple people stopping by the table. You can see I even had an iPad set up there. I was trying to promote the comic online and everything. I thought it was going to be great, and it did not. It did not go great. So I guess the moral of this little picture here is, don't set your expectations super high. Just try to build, try to go forward. Because once you set your expectations super high, you're asking for disappointment. If you self-publish your own book, right? Say you print out 100 copies, not super big, actually quite small, and you go to a show and you're like, yeah, man, I'm gonna sell 50 of these things, and maybe you sell 2, maybe you sell 1, maybe you sell 0. Man, you are going to be completely demolished. And you'll want to quit. And that's kind of how I felt, and that is how I felt, and that's what I did. After 2019, I was like, forget it. Comics are too hard. I can't sell anything. Comics take forever to draw. I can write a story and publish it online, publish it through Amazon 3 times, 4 times faster than I can to write and draw and publish my own comic. But guess what? Even though I did quit, it wasn't enough, because at the end of the day, even if I was making a little bit of money, the money's not there anymore. It kind of dwindled up. I think I hit a little bit of I got in right at the end of a tail end of a bubble of what I was writing with the pen name. And so I made some good money, but then it started dwindling down. But in the back of my head, I was just like, man, I wish I could do comics. I wish I could do comics. I want to do comics. Why can't I do comics? And so now here we are, 2023. 2022 really is when I was like, well, jumping back into this, I gotta do this. If I'm gonna struggle to make a story, and I'm gonna struggle either way, I might as well struggle doing something I love. So that is my little TED Talk to start off 2023. Don't give up. Don't give up. It's the beginning of the year. You're setting these goals, and my first point of encouragement is, even though you just set these goals, there's going to come a time when you're going to be like, this is too hard, this is too difficult, I don't have the time, I don't have the skills, I don't have the resources. You're going to make excuse after excuse after excuse. But don't give up. If you truly love comics, don't give up. It's always going to come back around. And that's what it did with me. It's just like, I could do this or I could do that. What am I going to choose? What do I really want to do? I want to make comics. And so that's what I'm doing now. 2023, set your goals, stick to your goals, don't give up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.